I grew up believing that I must earn God's love. I don't think that my parents really wanted to communicate that to me per se, but I didn't get the best model of what grace looked like growing up. Growing up in a conservative home, I didn't get a whole lot of opportunities to be wild and crazy, but I was introduced to alcohol at a very young age, around the age of 14, 15. That began a cycle of addiction that lasted roughly 10 years or so. In my mid-20s, I decided to get back into church because that's, you know what I mean? You go back to what you know when you're unsure. Like I said, I didn't know God personally during this time, but I knew that you're supposed to do right, be right, So I went back to church. That led to eventually going to a Bible college. When I moved to Bible college, I put down alcohol for a period of about 3.5 years or so. I lost my mom to cancer at the age of 49 while in Bible college. I lost my job and my wife at the time while in Bible college, and that ultimately led me back to my idol of alcohol. That's how I had learned to cope with life's ups and downs. It was a tough road. After battling alcoholism for about 10 years or so, the second round with it, I found myself going through an alcohol withdrawal on my couch one day while I was by myself. Blood pressure up, the whole nine. Detoxing, really. And I opened my phone and found a text message from a friend, to a text message with a link to a David Jeremiah message, and I began to listen to that message. And in listening to David describe what it's like to be born again, the Holy Spirit met me there on that couch and told me that He was what I was missing. And the relationship that I thought I had was merely based on performance and a struggle to earn something that He wanted so desperately to give me freely. And I remember getting up from the couch, walking down to the end of the hallway, kneeling at the foot of my bed, and I told God 3 things. I said, either you save me, you fix me, or you kill me, because I'm done with this. I'm done trying. I can't do it anymore. Just before this experience had happened, I had lost my dad to a heart attack at the age of 64. Ultimately, it kind of led to this experience on the couch. My addiction just got worse and worse and worse. But I remember having a fear of death so tremendously terrible that I would drink until I passed out, essentially daily, every day, and take handfuls of sleeping pills just to sleep, because I was scared that I may not wake up like my dad didn't. And I remember when I had that encounter with Jesus at the foot of my bed, that's the first thing that I remember feeling, is that feeling of fear and not knowing completely vanished. And the second thing I remember hearing Him tell me was, don't ever touch a bottle again. And that ultimately led me to detox and then to treatment. I did my 90 days of treatment there, and in the middle of that process, I began to hear the Lord deal with me about doing something with what He had given me. That led ultimately to me communicating to the staff there that I wanted to help. So I started volunteering after graduating, and I volunteered for another 3 months or so. I've been there ever since. We're talking 2 years now. I've been able to show up to work every day and counsel men like myself, walk them through the 12 steps, introduce them to Jesus, and just live life with them and teach them how to live life on life's terms without going back to that idol of addiction. I get to teach on a weekly basis, preach even at times, tell my story, and I love it. It's awesome to be able to share what I had heard all my growing up years, but didn't know personally until I found myself in that moment of desperation on that couch. And I get to introduce people to the one who ultimately flipped my life completely upside down and changed me.